Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 3 speed build, and this time we're kind of returning back to the roots of my Horizon tuning series with the Huayra. Of course, way back we did the Pagani Huayra BC, the DLC version, the more hardcore, kind of the Huayra Cinque, if you will, or the equivalent to that. This one is the normal Huayra, normal of course being a very relative term when you're talking about Paganis. Performance-wise, you're guaranteed that the car's going to be quick, but the question is, how quick? Well, I'll find out in just a second. As far as upgrades go, I would recommend having all-wheel drive, as I always would. Some people might not want that. That's fair enough. If you don't, just don't fit it. It won't make a huge difference to top-end performance. The only real difference it makes is low-end grip, and that means both on and off-road by definition. Now, as far as stuff like wings, some people like to have them. If you plan to use it online, for instance, as an all-round racer, then you might want to fit them. You might want to fit them. For straight-line performance, though, you just don't need it. Not for this particular car, and not for most cars, in fact. Now, as far as the rest, obviously you can see we've got racing tyres on there. That's pretty much obvious stuff. Increase the power, lower the weight as much as you can. You know the drill. Most people know how to tune a car, or at least upgrade a car, just fit whatever the most expensive part is. Apart from, of course, stuff like the wings, as I mentioned. Now, on the benchmark, you're looking at 2 seconds to 60, 4 seconds to 100, 264 flat out. So it's not quite as quick as some of the other supercars and hypercars and mega cars in the game, but it does also have less power than some of the other cars. Now, as far as the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 2.6, then individual gears of 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.16, 0.92 and 0.73. As far as alignment, neutral camber and toe with 4 degrees of caster. If you want it to be a bit stiffer, then of course you can increase that, and vice versa. If you want to be more loose, then lower it a bit more. As far as anti-roll, we've got those on 26 and 24, springs on 149 and 234. I've opted for the lowest ride height. You could increase the front ride height a little bit if you want to. You will get it up to about 264.4 miles per hour or so, but it's not entirely necessary. You don't feel a huge difference when you're actually driving the car. As far as dampers, we've got those on 12, 16, 5 and 7. Aero, of course, doesn't apply, and for the diff, as we usually do, 100% on acceleration, 0 on decel, and a 70% split in favour of the back end is my personal favoured choice for this car. If you want it to be a bit more tail happy, of course you could go up to 75 or even 80. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going much higher than that, because you start to negate the whole point of having all-wheel drive by still wheel spinning. But you can try it if you want to. Now, this tune is of course on my storefront. You can use the keywords down in the video description to find it quickly and easily, but all that remains is to take it out on the street. Now, although the Pagani Huayra is already quick, and of course when you tune it, it just gets even quicker, this is not among the very quickest of supercars. It's certainly not slow, not by any means. It has no trouble getting up and over 260. It gets there very quickly as well. But, as you can see from the specs, it's quite simply not the quickest of supercars. So this tune is more about allowing people who love the Huayra to be able to use it and still be competitive against those cars which are still quicker, but makes it so that they're not that much quicker. Whereas obviously if the top speed is around 230, 240, 250, you're going to notice that a lot more. Whereas with 264 miles per hour out of it, it's closing the gap, and that's what you want when you want to use a car like this. So if you do decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it fun and win races with it as well. And of course there are plenty more to check out on my storefront and on the channel. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.